Today we are reacting to Kurt Caz's ecom fashion brand Conquest. For those of you who don't know, Kurt Caz, he is a travel YouTuber and he's actually quite based, and I really do like Kurt Caz. You've 100% seen this guy. He pulls chicks whatever country he goes to. He travels around the world. He's pretty funny. Yeah, he's based. And what a lot of people don't know is he runs an e-commerce brand. I'm a little bit disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. And if you watch this channel already, you know that I give honest reviews, and because I like Kurt, I'm gonna help him out today. I'm not holding back in this video. I'm gonna give a full breakdown, a full review of what's working, what isn't, the entire brand, and at the end of this video, I'm gonna give a rating on the product market fit, the branding, the conversion rate optimization, and a rating of the marketing strategy. So look, without any further ado, let's get straight into this video. Kurt Caz, South African bushman. What is a bushman? I don't even know, but doing what my DNA tells me to do. Good man. He is getting the views. This is a serious travel YouTuber. And this guy's only 26, by the way. Basically, he travels around the world. He does go to popular places like Colombia and Rio, but he really gets in the sticks. Like, if you watch this guy's video, you know, like secret police in Baghdad, ISIS, war-torn Iraq. This guy literally walks solo into anywhere, and he always just finds some little Latina to go around with him. Like, legit, this guy just walks off on his own. Like, you'll see all the locals telling him, don't go down there, don't go down there, but he does not give a fuck. And you've got to like that about him, to be honest. He does not give a fuck, but this guy's pushing some serious views. And if you check on the past 6 months, he has done 53 million views organically, and that's just on YouTube. Please understand how much that is, 53 million views. But the question is, what is he doing with that traffic? Because this is the issue that you have with the travel vloggers, right? The travel vloggers get so much views because it's like widespread entertainment content. Now, let's say I'm making a video, you know, me on this channel, I'm making videos about e-commerce because I help independent e-commerce fashion brands make more money with email marketing, right? So my type of content is way more niche. However, when you are making videos or looking for trouble on the coast of Colombia, that doesn't necessarily translate into selling a product. So this is the issue that travel vloggers have. Now, they're entertaining to watch and they get a lot of viewers. However, those viewers are not necessarily buyers because you're not pre-qualifying the audience. Now, that's not to say that you can't make a lot of money with these type of viewers, and that's not to say that Kurt doesn't make a lot of money, but you have to go about it a different way. What a lot of these guys usually end up doing is they end up doing something like a fashion brand, and usually they end up just being like, oh, buy a t-shirt to support us, and the brands end up actually being shit. However, if you do ecom properly and you've got a massive audience like this of millions of people who actually like you and actually watch your videos, that can be the start of something massive. And this is the thing with ecom, right? This is why I like ecom so much. It is a hard business model to make work. Like, you've got to respect the top ecom guys because they're wearing so many hats and there's so much risk involved. But end of the day, guys, the reason why we are building these businesses is because they make a lot of money, they make a lot of cash. Once they sell, if you can build a sellable asset, you can sell it for a lot of money, but you've got to build the foundation right. What I cover on this channel is the new wave of e-commerce that's coming into the late 2020s, which is this personal brand first, founder-led e-com brands. Because what people are doing now is they're not trying to start brands from scratch, but they're building personal brands and then building brands around that, and I just find that I find that amazing. I really do, and I see some really good brands coming out of it. First thing, where the traffic is coming to Kurt's brand is obviously his social media channels. What you've got on YouTube, 3.45 million subs. By the way, guys, if you run an independent ecom fashion brand and you're looking to take advantage of your most profitable channel, which is your email marketing, then simply go to my profile, click this link in the description, and it'll take you through to a web page that explains a little bit more about what we do. We only work with fashion brands, we don't work with just any, so there'll be a couple of questions just before you go ahead and book a call to actually find out whether you're the right fit for us. And if we are, we'll look forward to hearing from you. This video will explain a little bit more about what we do, so give it a quick watch and I'll see you on the call. And if you look at his oldest video, like, this guy's being active and at it, like, he deserves all the success. He's been around the entire world, and I can guarantee when he started back here, he just had no money and he was struggling. So he saw the vision, he's gone for it, and you can't do anything but respect that. Like, he saw where he was going. He's got the personality for it. I think recently he's just started doing the brands. And then you've also got his Instagram, which is 1.8 million followers. And if you just look at the type of viewership he's getting, I mean, 2.5 mil, 6.3, 5.2, 2.3, 1, 950, 950, 950, 1.2, 1.2, 5 mil, 1 mil, 34 mil. It's just like Latina content just does good online apparently. You know, like, you can see all his thumbnails. This guy knows what he's doing. Come on, let's not fucking pretend he doesn't know what he's doing. Look at all his thumbnails. You know what I mean? There's always a girl in it. So this is the highest click-through rate on the videos, usually. But he knows what he's doing. He knows how to play the game. 97, oh my God, 97.2 million. See, this is why you have to have something to sell, especially if you're like a content creator, because imagine getting 97 million views and not taking that viewership to a website. You know how much money, like, to be honest, if you're getting 97 million views with a video of you doing anything that is obviously not embarrassing, you could be selling a fucking brick, right? You could be selling a literal piece of shit and you'll still make some sales. You need to funnel that traffic. When you look, they're not running any Facebook ads whatsoever, so this is completely organic through purely Instagram and YouTube, and as far as I'm aware, yeah, so they're not running any Google shopping ads either. I mean, you know, they're just relying on organic traffic. And this is the thing. A lot of these guys, he's traveling the world. Like, he's not learning e-commerce. Somebody probably runs this for him, but they're just not doing it at a very high level. At the end of the day, they don't need to be running paid ads. It depends how far you want to take it. Like, if you were looking at this business like, right, I'm going to build this organic traffic and then I'm going to really focus on this e-com business, then you're going to drive it with paid traffic and stuff like that. However, if he just wants a low effort thing where he's probably making 30 to 50k in sales at quite a high profit margin because it's all organic, then, you know, that is actually a genuine thing that you can do where you're not taking much risk, you're not having to mess around with all the stocks, you've probably got people working with you, and you can sort of just do it from the back seat a little bit and still make insane money like more than most brands. So if you want to do that, you can do that. However, me, I like making money. I mean, unlike a lot of people, I get into ecom to make money because I want to sell things on the internet. No, a content creator admitting that they like making money. Everybody on the internet who you watch is on there to make money, okay? Let's just call it how it is. You're likely a business owner if you're watching this, you know this yourself. Everyone's on the internet to make money, there's nothing wrong with that. What you'll see here is the links. I wonder if he's got them underneath his videos. So this is another thing. This is a new thing with YouTube now. You can actually put your store underneath the YouTube videos. Now, this only looks like a small addition, but this is incredibly shoppable. It's like having a mini website, and you've got to think of the type of numbers. I mean, 18 million views. That is just so much traffic on this. An unbelievable amount of traffic on this. Now, when you click through to the website and you get on there, right, what the fuck? There's no email pop-up. This is a big mistake. This is a big mistake. You need an email pop-up because this guy is funneling so much traffic into his website. Okay, now the problem is, you're gonna have a lot of those people who just, that's the first time they've seen you, or maybe they've seen you a couple times. They've clicked onto your website once and forgotten about it. Now, if you capture that email address, you actually get the opportunity to not rely on the YouTube algorithm to show them your videos again, but you actually have their information and you can send them. You can actually get a lot more views by sending them to your YouTube channel, or you can actually market to them within email. Now, when you're marketing within email, you are sending the emails for pretty much free. You own that customer data, and to be honest, if you have an organic traffic channel like this, and you are collecting thousands and thousands and thousands of emails, you are essentially able to make the value of your business much larger because the amount of data that you've got, the amount of customer data that you've got, because the problem is, you do not own those YouTube subs. As much as it's great having that 4 million subs, you do not own that. YouTube owns that. However, the email list, you own that. You are in control when you do that. And also, it's more qualified people, because if you put an offer on your website, you've asked for the email address and they've inputted it themselves, they're more qualified than just random stray views on YouTube. So the reason why you need to get that email address is because that is gonna enable you to get much more conversions, and especially if you are running completely organically, you are not getting an opportunity to market these products in a certain way. The problem is, when you're just taking people to a website and they've not come off it on an advertisement, they're just watching entertainment, what's going to happen is you're basically saying, oh, I've got a product for sale, here's this, buy this. However, if you've got an email list and you can email to those people, let's say you're selling this jacket, for example. If that's a fleece lined jacket, you can then showcase that jacket while Kurt himself is hiking through the jungle, let's say, and he needs to keep, well, I mean, a jungle's not cold, is it? You understand what I'm saying? You need to showcase the benefits of that product, and that's what you can do through the email address. And what you can also do is target and segment people based on activities. Because if you've got loads of people going to the site and adding stuff to cart, which, by the way, for a completely organic site, probably 98% of people are not going to be buying there and then. Around 5 to 10% of those people are actually going to be adding to cart, going to checkout and not purchasing anything. You there have thousands of people that are completing an action on your site. Maybe they just forgot. Maybe the doorbell rang. Maybe their show was on Netflix. Maybe their dinner was ready. Maybe a friend called them. All these things happen all of the time. People just get distracted. Maybe they thought, I'll come back to it later. Maybe they were waiting to get paid next week. All these things are reasons why people don't buy. And when you don't have those email sequences set up, what you're essentially doing is leaving all that money on the table, and you're only relying on the top end of the buying triangle, which is the 2% of people ready to buy there and then. So you have all these people committing these things on your site, and they're not getting the opportunity to buy because people just get distracted. So that is why you need email, because these are the automations that are going to do the heavy lifting for you, and this is going to build out a proper funnel for your store and take care of the large amount of people who have not purchased there and then, which is most. So email pop-up has to be on. What they do have down here is a subscription to the email. I have entered my email, it's been about 15 minutes. I've not had an email yet. That would tell me that it's not working, it should be instant. That is bad. That is really bad. And the thing is, if you have just a generic enter your email, never miss a drop email capture, people are not incentivized to enter the email. However, if you offer 10% off, if you offer a free gift with purchase, people are gonna enter their email more. Now, a little bonus for anyone out there running a clothing brand, test a trial discount that says, would you like a surprise discount? And instead of having the email box, you have yes and no. And if they type yes, then it takes them to the second pop-up, and the second pop-up then asks for email. That will increase the average submission rate. I mean, we've seen it like 5x, which is 5 times the people on the email list. So a little bit of sauce for you right there. But look, instantly, biggest thing on this site, before we've even looked at the product, branding, whatever, you need the email pop-up. The email marketing should be doing 40 to 60% of your revenue. And if you're running organically, that percentage will go higher. It will go much higher because you are using advertisements as the thing that's pre-qualifying the customer. So you will have a higher percentage of people buying from paid ads if you're running paid ads, but it's more expensive to run. With email, it costs nothing. So yeah, site's pretty cool. I get what they're going for. Conquest is conquesting other lands. Camo, I get it. It's on brand, it fits. One thing that I would say is, let's just get a little bit of Kurt Caz on here. Let's get some product shoots. When you're in Colombia, you're going through a jungle and you've got all the gear on. That's what you need. You need Kurt on it. Get a girl on it. That's what people are used to seeing. They're used to seeing Kurt and the girl. So as much as these brands are entities on their own, you can still showcase yourself in them and include your personal brand in a separate D2C product brand. And the benefit of doing this is people are going to recognize it and they're going to feel like they're supporting you. But also, the people that don't know you can still purchase and it'll be a better experience for them. So that's the first thing that I would say. I don't really like when websites have a black background. It's not the end of the world, but it's just not as clean in my opinion. That's not going to be like a massive driving factor, so it's not one of the main things. One thing that you've got here, this is pretty cool because you've got the site navigation. Now, one thing that I would say is there's no point having a better site navigation if you've only got a low amount of products. You might as well just make it as shoppable and easy as possible, because it's pointless having a different navigation and categories when you've only got one product in each. You know, it's not really necessary to have the site navigation. You might as well just get a picture of you on there, get an email pop up, and just let people shop the set products that you have. Take them to one part of the website, which is just all the products together, because there's only 5 or 6. Simplification is what you need in e-commerce. Just don't make anything confusing. Just be like, this is what we've got for sale. We're displaying it in this way. We're showcasing it in this way. And that is what's going to increase conversions. One thing that I will say here, they've got very high quality product shoots for the products. This is what you like to see. So when you go to the products, let's have a look at the product page. Pretty plain, there's no information here. Like, you know, you want some information about the pockets, you want some information about the warmth. Is it a winter jacket? What's the GSM? Just get some more information on there. And usually you want price, you don't want price in white ideally, because this just hides it a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty plain. And look, you want to have some good stock photos, which these are good stock photos. Ideally you want the grey behind them. However, get a person wearing them, like have Kurt wearing them, get Kurt and your girlfriend wearing them. Put them on the product page, because then people can look at the product, they can look at the flat relay version, but then they can actually look at the lifestyle version of the product as well. And also what you want is just go into the detail, like show customers what's the sleeve like, show customers what's the inside like, what's the thickness like. When you start doing all these things and you start adding more information on the product page, you could actually charge a much higher price because you're providing the customer with more detail. You know, different customers have different reasons for buying products. So if you can answer a lot of the objections up front and just show more value in the product and display it in a better way, you can charge a lot more money. Yeah, look, they're all the same. I mean, whoever's done this site, it's not a terrible site. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a terrible site, but it can definitely do with some work. One thing that I do like here is this sticky add to cart. The thought process behind this is you want to have a constant ability to add something to cart. This is going to increase the amount of people that do it. More people add to cart, more people go to checkout, more money in your motherfucking bank. However, it's like you don't really need it on there because there's nothing on the product pages. Ideally, you want something on the product pages. You want a little bit of a why we created this brand, or a little bit of a backstory on the brand, or a backstory on the products, or what the products are good for. I mean, what's on brand for Kurt Caz? He's always traveling. He's always going places. So these products do make sense. Like the sling bag, it's good for traveling. The hat, you're gonna need a hat for traveling. And then general clothes, they do make sense, but why not position it in that way a little bit more? You're sort of just leaving it for the customers to think about that themselves. And that's not really where you wanna be. You wanna be positioning this in a way that matches the marketing, and the marketing is the lifestyle of traveling. So why not position it like that? If you're selling a bag that's gonna help you traveling, then why not go and talk about the zips? Why not go and talk about the security? Why not go and talk about how it's a buckle clip that's near the front body and not on the back, so it can't be clipped and pickpocketed? These are the type of features that you want to be talking about, because these are more on brand and these are going to showcase the benefits of the product. And this is the thing, right? With e-commerce, people think that customers care about all these things other than themselves. Customers don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about your brand, they care about themselves. That's not them being selfish. Why should they care about you? So you need to display benefits, because customers care about what they are getting. The most important thing is what the customer is getting. What are they getting? Display that, show them. The second thing is, it's not really at a price point where you need finance options, but I would like to personally see finance options. Another thing straight off the bat here, you are increasingly decreasing your average order value by not having upsells. An upsell would be a suggestion of a similar sort of product to the one that you added to cart right here. Now, you want upsells because the more times that you offer the product to people, the more that they're going to spend, and the average order value is going to increase. The more the average order value, I mean, if you double your average order value, you've doubled your sales with the same amount of customers, same amount of effort, same website, same product, same time, same everything, just with a few little buttons. So average order value, very important. Now, the two things that are going to factor a e-commerce business that's making a lot of money compared to one that doesn't is two things, and that is your average order value and your lifetime value. Average order value, how much customers spend. Lifetime value, how much is that customer spending over a lifetime. Now, average order value, you're going to get that by introducing more products and making incentives and offers for people to buy more. And the lifetime value, you're going to use email marketing for that, because you're going to be able to increase. If a customer buys here today, you can market to that customer 6 months down the line. And if they've spent 30 euros today, 6 months down the line, they've spent another 30 euros, the lifetime value of that customer is 60. Now, if you are running paid media channels, this is much more important, because if you know your lifetime value is 60, you can acquire a customer at a break even on the front end, but because you know the lifetime value is 60, you are making profit on the next sale. Now, this is a bit of a long-term advanced things, but the principles are the same. The larger you can increase your lifetime value, the more that you can spend on the front end. These guys don't really have that problem because they're not running paid ads, but they're getting the traffic. They're not utilizing the traffic properly. Definitely get some upsells. Ideally, you want something in the cart, but what you also want is something here, which is like, oh, goes perfect with this. Customers also bought this, and you've just got a little pop-up box here. That's what you want. That's what you want. I mean, they do have these, and this is nice. You don't have to go on the product to add it to cart. That's always good. You're missing out on money there. You're missing out on money right there. And ideally, you always want buy now, pay later options. And another thing that I want to say is, look, this site hasn't changed to my currency. I'm British. I'm in England right now. So it being euros, you want it to change from currency to currency because subconsciously in a customer's mind, they think that you don't ship to their region. Like they don't look at, if it's an American looking at 30 euros, it's like, what's that, $45, $50. So they're looking at that price, and if they get to the checkout and the price changes, it's psychologically, it's not good, and it's going to decrease conversion. So you need to have your website set up for multi-regions, and that's pretty simple to do. So yeah, if you go to the cart, yeah, look, simple average cart. I mean, ideally what you want is, these guys know what they're doing. They've got some more payment options that are outside of Europe, so they've probably got a lot of traffic from outside of Europe, but there's no buy now, pay later options. That's going to increase your conversion rate massively. You definitely do need that. But yeah, there's not a single picture of Kurt on this website, and this is a personal brand-led D2Z consumer brand, so you need a picture of the person that's pushing all the traffic. Ideally, like, it doesn't have to be him, but you need some people on here. You need to humanize it a little bit, because otherwise they click on this and they don't feel that personal connection. You know, there's people that sit and watch this guy for hours a day, more than likely. By the time they've ended up having a binging session, they feel like they know this guy, they like this guy. So if they click onto the website and see a picture of him, they're like, yeah, I'm supporting him. I like this guy, I like what he stands for. I've sat and watched him for hours, I know what he's like, I trust him. That's the psychology that humans go through. And what you'll see is the number one marketing thing that you cannot replicate, and the reason why even much better ecom brands can simply not beat these guys, is because these brands are product placement masterpieces. So if you're getting people to sit and watch a 26-minute video, you're wearing your own clothing that you're selling in that video of 26 minutes. So now that video is an advert. What company in history could get you to watch a video of 26 minutes? None. However, when the YouTubers do it and they're wearing the product, it's still an advert, it's just indirect. So incredibly powerful, incredibly powerful. And that's when people really get to know your brand and they've seen it and seen it and seen it. And you can just say to them, you can plug it in your own video. You say, I'm wearing this t-shirt, get it the link down below. It's easy. It's not a hard sell. Yeah, and it's like the amount of exposure that you get in, you can build a huge brand out of this, because the reason why guys like this are sat on a gold mine and they don't even know it is because this groundwork is the hard thing to do. And if you're trying to build a groundwork for an e-commerce business like that, it's very expensive and it takes a very long time to do so. So these guys sort of fall into it unintentionally. But if you were to add paid traffic onto this, like Google ads or Facebook ads, and have Kurt in the ads, if you're doing email marketing properly and you've already got that rich list of people and customers and people in your pixel from the organic channels, from the amount of views that you get in, when you start running ads, it's going to make your ads way cheaper compared to people who are running off a fresh account with no data. So when you start running that paid traffic, matched with that organic traffic, matched with people that have seen you for hours on end as a personal brand, you're going to make a lot of fucking money with that, life-changing amount of money, and you can build a real e-com business out of it that turns into its own self-sufficient thing. And if you can get an e-com business self-sufficient, that's the type of thing that you can sell for 100 grand, 500 grand, a million, a few million. That's where the big money comes in. And that is what these guys are sat on and they don't even know it. So look, Kurt Caz, I like you, bro. I don't go into depth like this if I was a hater. Please take some of these notes. I mean, shout me for email marketing if you need it. But yeah, you make those changes, you'll make more money 100%. So let's do the rating. Product market fit. What I will say is, look, the restriction of these guys is they're travel guys, they're not finance guys, and you know, they're not necessarily fashion guys, or they've not necessarily got a niche, like the niche is traveling. So you do need a product around that. I would say that the product market fit's pretty decent. They've got the clothing right, and you know, these are the type of things that people are going to travel with. However, it's not displayed in the correct way. Like, there's so much this bag could be. This bag could be the main seller, and you could actually charge more money for it if you displayed it in a better way. So the product market fit, I would say it's pretty good, but I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because it's not been displayed in the right ways. For the branding's pretty on point. Conquest, I like the name. You are conquesting, it makes sense. It fits your brand. I would say that the logo's pretty decent. And look, you know, people are gonna buy this because they support him. But it's definitely got a certain type of look right now. I mean, the products could definitely be developed a little bit more, but each to their own. If Kurt likes this, it's his brand, that's his thing, right? So the branding, I'm gonna give a 8 out of 10. Now, as far as the marketing strategy, I'm gonna give it a 4. And now the reason for that is, what I will say is, his organic social media channels, I'm not gonna sit here and tell Kurt Caz what to fucking do, because he's got 3.45 million subs, right? By the time of recording this video, I've got 213, so who the fuck am I to talk about that? But the organic strategy is good, right? But paid ads, he's missing this full paid ads. And I'm not saying you have to run into paid ads because then it turns into something else. But one thing that is a non-negotiable is email marketing. Email marketing for this brand would be a gold mine. It'd be a gold mine. You'd be able to convert so much traffic. So not having the email pop up and not having those emails triggered when you've submitted one, I can't sit here and give that a good marketing strategy, because that is just an unbelievably cheap way to get an incredible amount of sales for very low cost and not that much effort, to be honest. So for the marketing strategy, I'm gonna have to give you a 4. I'm sorry, Kurt, but it's the truth. It's just not VIP. It's not the VIP service, man. Conversion rate optimization, the site's good, it's clean, it works, it's shoppable, but you don't have the buy now, pay later options. You don't have a description of the product. You don't have extra photos. You don't have a breakdown of the benefits of the product. It's not displayed in the benefit focused way that would help the traveling people watching your videos. You don't have the upsells. You don't have the buy now, pay later. It's pretty, you know, it's pretty plain, the site. So I'm gonna have to give this a 4 out of 10. That's it. That's my ratings. Look, overall, he's not an ecom guy. You can't give him too bad of a hard time. You know, if it's a business person and they're running an e-commerce business and it's shit, I'll rip them to death a lot more. But this guy, he's a YouTuber. I'm not reducing him to anything, by the way, but he is a YouTuber, so I'm not gonna give him a hard time. But look, Kurt, if you've got a little bit of spare money, just pay people to do these things I've asked, and you'll just make so much more money with it. You'll be able to travel to so much more places and make much more money. So look, that was a review from your boy TC, and there's a video coming up right about here or right about here, and you should take a watch after this one. Till next time, let's go.